to inspire them, to show them what's possible, and that it's not, it's not that women are meant for the homes. Women are meant to change the world. Women are meant to, create value. And I think for me, I didn't have that understanding before, but now, I get to see that, what, through the things that I do and through my story, I get to hear stories of other young women who are coming up and doing, much more things. And the truth is that this is not just in Nigeria or Africa, it's everywhere. I was privileged to speak at the conference in Armenia, and it's the same story, listening to young girls or in their towns, in their villages, their parents say they can't go to school, they have to get married, blah 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 and whatnot. But I feel like more women need to see people like them who are doing great things and break that bottle and make them realize that, you are human first before you're a woman, right? So as human, you have your own, you have the things you're supposed to do. You are supposed to be a catalyst, like changing the world and whatnot. And whether you're a man or woman, for me, gender doesn't matter, right? You are human, and that's it.
You,
So I
you,
think
you
that's
know,
just what I believe.
some of the argument is this, that you have to take care of the kids. Taking care of kids is not easy. You have to run the home, and you have to take care of your husband and all of that. So how do you combine a multinational brand with the home duty? So some women have already given up internally that let's leave this hard business, all these things to the men, where I take care of the home, where I make some money to just get by. So in case I need one or two things, I don't have to ask him for seasoning or on the way. So I have something going. But that breaking the ceiling, it's hard. But don't you think that those things, the children, the husband, the home, is limiting a lot of women to be realistic?
Yeah, I've listened. I'm not married, by the way, and I don't have kids, right? So I don't know what it feels like yet. But I've heard stories of a lot of women, right? You know, and I feel like for even women that are married, right? Some of them are even like scared, and I think like most of these boundaries is created by fear, majorly, right? Because you get to hear a lot of women say, "I can't leave my husband because I don't know how I'm going to start or where I'm going to start from," right? And because of that, they are trapped and they like do the barest minimum. Um, I feel like having kids and whatnot, like along the line, you can always get help. Like there was this particular lady I saw, the founder of Bumble, right? I know the day she listed on NASDAQ, she was with her child, and like, there are women, who like do all of those things and like include their children in whatever they are doing. So for instance, you see like businesses who have like female founders have things like nurseries in their offices, right? That allow women, bring in their kids and do all of those things. That is why it's really very important for more women in position of power or to do have more businesses. Because what, they're able to create more friendly environments for women to be able to thrive. For instance, to be fun to be able to bring your kids to the office, right? If you have like a male CEO, you might not understand. But having a woman CEO, you might probably understand and not. Yeah, but it's really around women, no matter like the restrictions and all of that, pushing and coming out of a place of fear to explore and experiment.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was very well said. Anybody listening to your story now, we know that there is no limitation. Now, back to your brand, Taylor Furnitures. The name Taylor, is it your name, because your name is Jumoke Dada? So how did it Taylor? But the spelling is different. But how did you come about the name?
I think it's a really very long emotional story that started to my childhood and whatnot. So like I really don't want to talk about that today. But like yeah, but it's really like a long emotional story. Not my name or family name or whatnot.
So the name matters so much to you. That's great. Now, let's talk about your online space, like creating content and posting those content and making it memorable for people to be able to get in. When you started, were you the one posting the content, creating it and posting it? And the consistency, were you doing it every day, or how were you doing it? This is for someone that is listening, is building a new business, and you want to know. I don't understand Instagram algorithm. I don't understand the Facebook. Should I post every day? Should I dance with my products? Should I, what do I show? So how did you do it?
In the early days when I started, I was content creator, digital marketer, and everything and whatnot. But for me, I'm a creator, so it comes easy, right? So creating stuff, putting it up, right? But I think later on, at the latter stage of the brand, yeah, I'll still create content, right? Consistency is very important because the feedbacks I've gotten from most of the people that followed Taylor from the very beginning, you get to hear people say stuff, oh, I've been following you guys for 3 years, just following what you guys are doing. So consistency is really very important. And the truth is that people won't reach out maybe the first month, second month. Some of them might even reach out like 2 years after, just monitoring like the progress. And I feel like it's something I've seen, right? But for me, I'm a huge fan of outsourcing, right? Most times to get like excellent results, you have to outsource, right? So if you feel like you can't like do everything, like there are other like cheaper ways for you to do things, right? I think there are even like agencies that can like help out to maximize results. So for instance, one of the things that you can do starting out as a business is to leverage on user-generated content, right? You can also leverage on influencer marketing. Do you understand? Because when you maybe, for instance, gift your products to people, they're able to create content on your behalf. For instance, you can find someone who makes like really amazing content, right? And you just like, for instance, send your product to them and say, you know what, this is my product, try it out. And based on that, they create like 1 or 2 contents. And it looks good, then you can share on your page and promote, right? So sometimes it's not really about me. I don't think I'm a good dancer, so I don't think you will ever see me on a Taylor video dancing or trying to do something. But basically, part of the things you can do is to let other people do that for you by being generous.
Okay, this is the Voice of the People 90.3 FM. In case you're just tuning in, it's Business Around Town show. That's what you're listening to. And we've been talking with Jumoke Dada. She is the CEO of Taylor Furnitures and afro-urban furnitures. And we've been speaking with her, telling us her story, her journey, and everything. So if you have questions for her, you can send in your question to us so that I can ask her right up. She's here. You can ask her any question. It's 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. So we're going to go for a commercial break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Leave it here.
Papa, mama, brother, sister, this Lagos must work for all of us. Everybody down for
Oh yes, Lagos people, papa, mama, sister, brother, auntie, plus including uncle them. Better don't land for Lagos State gidigba. Money will be for Lagos State, then go use them for Lagos State. Wella, no more baba sope. They no go chop Lagos State money. Nobody go pocket Lagos State. Then go take and build Lagos State, build road, build hospital, build houses, and now only one man fit do this job. His name na Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran Jando. He can't carry one obonge person as the deputy governor. Her name na Funke Akindele. My people, what do we wait for? Make we vote for light, vote for change. Not be the kind change where they vote before. This one na the original change. How Amumu don't do? Pay the pay.
everybody down for
Above the line, through the line, below the line. The world is changing, and so is advertising.
Join us at the National Advertising Conference 2022, themed The Marketing Communication Industry Nigeria, Trends, Challenges and Prospects.
It's the biggest advertising gathering for the biggest advertising issues of the day.
Date, November 29th to December 1st, 2022. Venue, Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. No better time to chart the way forward for the practitioners, the industry, and the economy.
Be there. Let's engage and share perspectives.
National Advertising Conference 2022 is powered by Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ACON.
And VOP 90.3 FM.
Welcome to the best exclusive radio station, VOP 90.3, bringing you the best mix of the best music.
This is the voice of the people, 90.3 FM, 1 minute before 10 o'clock. My name is Mary Onaife Debbie, and you are listening to Business Around Town. Today, we are talking with an entrepreneur. It's the Entrepreneur Series. Yesterday, we spoke with one. Today, we are talking with another woman, another young lady that is making a lot of headway when it comes to business, and she's sharing with us a story this morning. So if you have question for her, Taylor Furnitures, have question for her, send it to 0700 903 9039 0700 903 9039. So we're going to be taking some questions now, but before that, let me ask you this question. What has been some of your highs? You talk about your highs and your low. This was your high, like, oh yes, I'm in this business and I'm making progress, everything just fit right, your highs. And then we'll talk about your lows, the moment we were like, oh, maybe I should just end all of this. Okay, can you?
I think my biggest moment was like the first time we got funding, 2019. I think for me it was like the beginning of a lot of stuff that would happen to the brand, because I wasn't expecting that would happen at any point when I was starting out. Then my lowest moment would be the months before, like the total shutdown, where I was wondering, man, could Taylor survive COVID? At this point, this might just be the end of the business and whatnot. I think those two moments are quite good stuff. Yeah.
But the lockdown turned out right. It even made you one of the biggest thing. The lockdown. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Now let's take some questions now from people listening to us. I'll give out the number again, and then we'll take the questions we have here. 0700 903 9039 0700 903 9039. Okay, now the first question here. Okay, this one says, good morning to you. I'm listening to your program. I think I know Taylor Furnitures. I'm a big fan of her work, although I haven't bought anything from her, but I would like to know how she's able to do everything by herself, given that she's so young. I'm a student of University of Lagos. My name is Amarachi. I'd like to know how she's able to do everything. That's one question. Now, another question here says, hello, I follow your business program every day, and I would like to ask the young woman in the studio this question. How has she been able to survive in Nigeria when everybody is moving out of the country? Now, she has the money to live, but she's still here doing her business, and her business is surviving. How? Now, we have two questions. So, First Lady, and this one, First Lady wants to know how you do everything you do because you're young. And the other person says, Nigeria, people are moving. Once you have the money, jackpot, but you're here expanding, doing your business. So two questions for you before we go into other questions.
I think starting a business, you're alone and trying to do all of those things and whatnot by yourself. But my advice would be like, you don't stay there, right? You grow on to, get help and put proper structure into it, right? For me, in the early days, like it was me doing everything now, and I was getting burnt out. It's like, go help. But the thing is, like, for me, when you're starting a business, you shouldn't just think about you doing it just for yourself. You should do it. You should think about, doing it for it to become something bigger, right? And if you think about it in that light, you think of things like putting structure, ensuring that you have other people come on board to help you. If you can't. So for me, like I said, I'm a big, huge fan of outsourcing. I don't get to do everything myself. The ones I can outsource to other people, I get to outsource to them. Leverage other people's strength to do some other things and whatnot. So, yeah, even though I get to run the business, I'm not an island. I have people who are also like supporting me.
Okay, great. Now the other question: Why are you still in the country, given that you're young and you have the money to move The person want to know how you're able to survive as a business in Nigeria with economic hardship and all of that.
There is wealth here. Uh, there's wealth here, right? No matter what people say, there's wealth here, right? And from what I've seen, from even countries I've traveled to outside Nigeria, it's really like the world is really waiting for Nigeria. The world is waiting for Africa, right? And like some people have to stay back to like tap into those resources, harness them, and showcase it to the world. We all can't live, right? And for me, it's really like, and I think it's more personal than societal, right? Who is going to employ the 100 people Telo has employed? Who is going to employ the more people that? Who is going to create more industries? I think that part is really very important. And you go to other countries, right? You japa and whatnot, but you are japaing and doing what's there. I think that part is also very important. For me, I really don't want to japa and go and work as a caregiver in the UK. I don't want to do that, right? I just want to rather create value, and yeah, the pounds is strong and whatnot, but still I can still create a lot of value, that will get the world to, come in and respect me as a person, and even want to maybe probably give me their citizenship or whatnot. But it's really around, how do I create value for my people? My dad always told me as a child that, you know what, Nigeria is where the wealth is, right? The money is here. My only advice to you is you can travel out to like go for holiday or vacation or whatnot, explore the world. But you know what? This is where the wealth is. And for people who are really serious about building long-term wealth and everything, I think like staying back might be a good option. Because you know what? You can always, after you've created the wealth, travel to all of these places, and whatnot. But like for me, I think that's the way I see it. And that's the main reason why I'm still here. I really want to create wealth for my people. I really want to show people what's possible. I really want to show that Africa is not a jungle, right? It might not work for everybody, but I feel like this is me and this is what I want to do.
This coming from a young person, it's very uplifting and encouraging, because the young folks, most of them are the ones taking every opportunity to leave the country, saying that the older folks have spoiled it and all of that. So every opportunity they get, they leave. But getting to hear you talk like this, it's really encouraging. Okay, let's take more questions. So we'll see if we could take all of this question before we round off the show this morning. So it says, good morning to you. My name is Maxwell, and I'm listening to you right now from the comfort of my home. It's quite inspiring what you have done. I'm just checking out your page, and it's so impressive. Now, you mentioned funding, that you got funding. How were you able to do this? Was the funding from family or from an organization? Please, I would like to know this if you don't mind. Thank you so much. This is from Maxwell. Okay, funding. Let's take another message. This one says, good morning to you. My name is Peter from Ikeja. And I'm listening to your program right now. It's quite interesting. I like what the lady said about the Jackpot stuff. I think I share the same sentiment. Let's stay back and build our country and build our society. There's no place like home. Okay, thank you so much, Peter. Now, for Maxwell that wants to know about your funding, do you care to share how you got funding? Because you mentioned it earlier that you got help.
I think for funding, like I didn't know anything was called, VC funding or PE funding when I was starting out, right? I didn't know any of those here. But I think it was like the first year after like Taylor was really properly founded. We did some projects for a client, and the client was like, "Oh, you guys did an amazing job, and it would be great to meet with you." Funny or luckily, the client had like a VC fund that invest in startups, and the person like showed me like bigger brands, and I was like, you can be this brand, right? And we can really help you. And basically, that was how we got our first funding. It might sound easy, right? It might sound easy, but I think what has really helped is the fact that when you are doing good job, and I think it's the same thing in the funding space. VC or PE, they are looking for deals, right? They are looking for deals. Angel investors are looking for deals. They are looking for businesses to invest in. The same way like managers or people look for agents look for artists to manage, artists that can potentially. That's the way it is too. Investors try to look for businesses to manage or businesses that they can invest in that can give them huge return on investments, right? And if you show that your business is able to provide such value and is able to provide so much return for investors in a short time, you'll be surprised at a lot of people who shoot you emails to say, I have like spare $50,000 to give you, or $20,000, or $100,000 to give you. Also, I was lucky to win some few grants. So, for instance, I got some few grants. So, for instance, I think Lumelu Foundation has some grants for people that are starting up business, where you get maybe your first, seed fund of $10,000. I think some other grants too. So, for instance, you can start from applying for business grants. There are a couple of business grants that young people can apply for. Grow your business a bit from there. Then after then, you can maybe reach out to angel investors. From angel investors, reach out to VCs. In that progression.
Wow, fantastic. Now, you mentioned Tony Elumelu. You mentioned him. Now, yesterday, I think he put out a tweet where he said that a lot of his successes today attributed to luck. And the people were talking, is it luck or is it God's work? Is it hard work? Now, I put a question to you. Now you've been in business for 6 years and you've been making a lot of progress, successes. What will you attribute it to? Are you going to say you were lucky, like you said, how you got your first grant? Will you say you were lucky, or you worked really, really hard, or things just aligned for you?
I think people should not misunderstand what he said, right? What luck is opportunity meets preparation, right? That's what luck is. You've been preparing your whole life for a particular moment and it happens, right? So for instance, we've been doing good work at Taylor. We've been serving clients. Then, the opportunity came up when I had the chance to meet someone who had a VC fund, and that was it, right? So it wasn't like it was luck and I was laying down idle somewhere or just doing shoddy job. No, like I've been preparing for all those moments, waiting for me to seize that particular moment, and it happened. I don't think there's anything called luck. It's just that opportunities spring up here and there, but the question is, are you prepared, right? Are you prepared to seize that opportunity? So for instance, it might not even be starting a business. It might just even be as an employee. When an opportunity comes up for maybe a promotion in the office, for instance, have you tried to explore further studies? Have you developed yourself such that when a role springs up, you can easily apply and they take you on the job, right? So it's not really about luck or anything. It's just that you keep doing excellent work every day. You keep spending time doing a lot of good things. But guess what? The opportunity springs forth. And the thing is that people watch, people listen, right? And I think that's been my story. A lot of people watch and listen, and because of that, some people would say, "Oh, Jumoke is lucky. That's why she's on radio this morning." I don't think it's because of love that I'm on radio this morning. It's because you've been seeing the good work we've been doing, and you reach out and get this opportunity, and we just assist it, right? So I think that's just the way it is. So I guess that's what it meant, right? Not really that you just sit down and things come to you, or somebody is trying to. Yeah.
Fantastic. You're sounding with what would I describe it? Someone with a lot of focus. Do you have a mentor? Do you subscribe to having mentorship? Maybe one woman or one person you have is mentoring you, showing you the way, helping you when you are stranded. Do you subscribe to mentorship?
Yes. I'm a huge fan of mentorship. I have a coach, right? I have a coach. I have mentors who constantly speak some sense into my head, learn from their mistakes. Some of them have been in business for a decade and more. And sometimes just even last night, I was with a mentor for hours, listening to live gems and learning from mistakes and a lot of things, right? For me, I learn more from other people's experience, and also part of my own experiences too as well. But like mentors are really important because you get to hear their own side of the story. And because they are older and they've walked that path, they can see you and tell you, you know what, this path you are following, you need to go. And I'll cite an example, right? In the January of COVID year, January of 2020, I had one of my mentors tell me, you know what, Jumoke, you have to find a way to make money while you sleep. And I'm like, what's this guy saying? And COVID happened because during COVID, I was sleeping and we're making money. So it's really like mentors are really very important because they really guide you. They've walked that path. They're like watchers, so they help you navigate your way.
Now, your mentors, do you go after them? You sought after them, or they found you? Or do you pay for them? How will you be able to get your mentors?
So one thing I've come to realize is that even like very successful people look for people to pour themselves into when they get to a certain stage in life. And I feel like once they spot people that are like them, so for most of my mentors, over the time when I got used to them, I'll hear them say things like, you are just like my younger self, right? You remind me of my younger self. Even for me, like when I get to a certain stage, maybe when I'm in my 40s, for instance, I have to start finding someone poured their self into me. I have to find someone to pour myself into. But even me right now, I'm on the lookout for someone who, might be interested in changing the world or doing something interesting or phenomenal. And I'm happy to guide the person through the path. So for me, like the way I found my mentors is just, I was privileged to be in rooms where there were people like that, and they saw a version of themselves in me, and they were able to help me through that journey. So you don't go out to say, "Oh, I want you to be my mentor" or anything. You just cultivating that relationship with them. You cultivate that relationship with them, and some of them don't even know that like they are your mentors or anything. They just know that you guys are talking, but to you know that this person is my mentor. I have constant sessions with this person, but the person doesn't even know. But it's just cultivating relationships with people who are like very successful, and you constantly just want to listen to them. And once you listen to them once, twice, and they see that you take their advice, they're happy to keep sharing whatever they have.
Yeah, so true, so true. Now, talking about international brands like Taylor, are you looking at making international partnership, going globally, partnering with different brands and having your products in different countries of the world?
Yes, that's one of like my major goal right now for the next 3 years. I want to for instance, get Taylor's pieces into places like Selfridges, Walmart, Target, have like a lot of Black people experience Taylor's pieces outside, not just like Africans alone, but like Africans in diaspora. So for me, like the journey is still really very long, and it's going to be a lot of work, but I think when I set out doing this from the very beginning, I really wanted to create a global brand. I wanted to create a brand, and one day IKEA would reach out to me and say, we want to buy you, or we just want to invest in a business, something like that. So it's a whole lot of work, but it's one step at a time. Hopefully we get there in my lifetime. It would be cool to have like a brand like Taylor in US and stuff like that.
It's very possible, just like you said. Imagine how you started, where you are now. So who knows? It's very possible. In fact, it's a done deal. If you keep working like this, you're already there. Now, we'll take a few more questions before we round off the program. We're rounding off at 10:25, so we can squeeze it 1 or 2 questions. If you're watching us online and you have a question, just feel free to shoot. I'm going to read your question. So let's take this one. Okay, this one says, good morning to you. My name is Georgina, and I'm listening to you right now from Surulere. Great program. I'm inspired, in fact, pumped up to go and start my own business. Please, can I know how old Taylor is? I want to know. I want to know her age because she's talking so much wisdom. Thank you so much, Georgina, for that. It's going to be left for her whether she will tell us or not. Now, another question for you. This one says, good morning to you. Interesting program you have. I'm listening to you and enjoying every bit of it. I I want more youths in Nigeria to embrace hard work. You could feel a lot of hard work from what she is saying. This is from Chief Eddie. Okay, thank you so much, Chief, for that, for noticing that. Now, we'll take another question before we come to your age, if you're gonna spill the beans. Okay. This says, good morning to you, Business Around Town, great program. And this is my question. How were you able to price your product effectively when you started? Because pricing is an issue for creative people. I'm a creative and I produce lovely pieces of Ankara shirts. I used to design stuff, but pricing it is an issue for me. I don't have the money to talk with consultants yet, but I want to make sure that my pieces are well priced and I get value for it. Please, can you help me with that? Okay, so we have this question now from Dixon. So Dixon is asking the pricing issue, if you could help with that, and the other person that wants to know how old Taylor is. So over to you.
Taylor has a brand.
Okay.
Taylor has
No, you mean you.
4 years.
Let me ask you about Jumoke's age. Jumoke Dada.
I'm not going to say anything. I think like my age is on Google, so you probably like Google me and you can do the math from there.
Okay. So now the pricing. I know this is an issue for a lot of creative people because you just want to create stuff and just put it out and people appreciate it and you are good. But sometimes putting the right price tag on it. How were you able to cross that hurdle at the beginning?
I think first of all is market positioning and understanding the market, right? For instance, if I create a mistake most creative people make, I made a mistake too as well. First of all, you need to answer this question: are you designing or doing it for yourself, or you're doing it for people? I think that will sort it out first. If you're doing it for yourself, then you can do it for the sake of feeling good and putting it out and saying this is what is what. But in the eyes of the consumer, what's the worth of the item? I think there are two separate questions that's creative thing to answer. The second part is, what market are you creating for? There are different segments of the market. There's the main mass market. There's a market for people, the aspirational middle class or aspirational people. Then there's the luxury market. Which market are you creating for? So that will determine what you price your item. So for instance, now you can't be pricing an item. Maybe you make a shirt and it's selling for 50K and you put it on Instagram. Yeah, people will see it on Instagram, but it's not meant for that place. It's meant for maybe, for instance, huge concept stores in VI and whatnot, where people that can afford it will see it and buy it, right? If you are doing mass market, yeah, maybe I don't think Instagram is the best place for mass market. For mass market, then you have to go to distributors to help you distribute and whatnot. Obviously, the pricing is different. So I think three things, right? What are you creating for? Are you creating for yourself, or you are creating for the people? So if you are creating for the people, what segment of people are you creating for, right? You need to understand that part. Then the last part will be, how do you position so that those people can see. In the early days when I was creating Taylor, right, it was really around, we're targeting people of a certain location, right? It's not just that we're running ads and we're targeting general Lagos. We're targeting people of a certain location when we're running the ads, because there were people that will probably be able to afford it at that time, right? Even right now, the audience has changed. So it's really about really targeting a particular audience and tailoring to them. So if it's maybe somebody that is living in a remote area and you're pushing a shirt of 50K or something, they'll never buy, Or like if you put your stuff in like very nice concept stores, where people that can afford it come around, then they definitely have more sales. Yeah.
Wow, great. Wow. It's been really informative, entertaining, and educative talking with you this morning. Thank you so much, Jumoke Dada, for talking with us on Business Around Town. Really appreciate your contribution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope to see you in person very soon, so we could talk more.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I really feel bad, but hopefully I wish I'll come in person too.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, if you are listening to us, this is Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Mary Onaife. Debbie, thank you so much for being part of the program. I'll be here again tomorrow to discuss business with you. Same time, 9:30 to 10:25. Business around town. My name is Mary Onaife. Debbie, you can find me on Instagram at Mary Media. Coming up next at 10:30 is Issues in the News with Esther Wachuko. Keep it here. Do not touch the dial. The Voice of the People, 90.3 FM.
The best of the morning.
So how come that they usually make a statement and then the executive refuse to obey that statement?
We should address the issue of flooding that is ravaging most states in the country. Currently, 9.9 million Nigerians are living in extreme poverty.
Even the police people, they are punishing us that we are criminals.